Hey everybody, Chris here at Pebble Creek. So kind of an exciting episode today. We got the wheels and I guess it's called the connecting rod attached. Um, Also got the brake linkages installed and the brake shoes done. So we're almost done now. I think we got two more episodes after this to complete the locomotive, and then after that it'll be just doing the track and the case, and we're completely done on this unit. After that, we're going to start the 1200 Bismarck. We have a Pontos kit and a scales deck, wooden deck to put on top of that. As well, we're also going to do it fully lit up. I haven't seen the battleship done like that yet, so we're going to try that. It's been a real fun kit so far. It's kind of sad that I realize how close we are to completing it, but anyways, it's been a lot of fun. Let's go take a look and see what we got done so far again. All right. Okay, so I figure we'll just start out with the wheels here. Sorry it's not in focus. I got that new camera mount, and then I looked through the tiny little screen, and everything looks great on there, and I figure, oh, we're gonna get a real good clear shot. And then hours upon hours later, I see this, and it's all fuzzy. As you can see, the ones completed in the background there, they're nice and crystal clear. Alright, so I'm going to probably start showing less of how I paint things. I look at my analytics there, and I see that pretty much 99% of everybody fast forwards through this stuff. So I think from here on out, if I show any painting, it's going to be if it's something different I'm doing. If I got to mask something off a certain way or show you how to do something, maybe I'll show it. But if I'm just going to shoot a panel, I think I'll omit that from here on out. If any of you feel different, let me know. Let me know if you want to see that stuff still. Uh, so anyways, so first we painted that with the X11 chrome silver, the wheel faces where they run on the rails. Then I just wrap some tape around here, and we'll shoot it with the XF63, the German gray. Now these all had to be repainted as well too. Afterwards, when I was pulling the tape off, I noticed a lot of silver along the edges, so I had to retape half of them up. The other half I just left the tape on, and I reshot them one more time. It's hard to tell when you got lights pointing at every different direction sometimes. What's what's silver and what's shiny underneath. I figured it out once I started getting that tape off. Just get all the paint into all these little spokes here. That was probably the hardest part about painting these wheels, was making sure the paint got in between all these spokes. These are the counterweights. So I'll shoot these with the XF66 light gray. And I won't show all 8 of them. We'll just do one wheel set, and the other 7 were pretty much identical. I'm just going to use my tweezers here, and I'll just going to scratch out the paint on the inside here, give that glue just a little something to bite onto. Nice thing Nice thing and a bad thing about acrylic paints is they scratch so easily. So this could be a good thing in a scenario like this, but it could also be a bad thing out in the real world. They're like scratch magnets, I find. You just look at them the wrong way and they get a scratch. Just get as much excess glue off as possible. Just a thin layer, just enough to start that chemical reaction up, eh? Now I will say this on the kits: some of these counterweights went on nice, and some of them didn't. Some of them took a little bit of coercion and to get them into actual place. Now these are the sand lines. This is the one part of the entire kit that gave me trouble. The instructions say to use CA glue, and glue doesn't. These are like the lights. So much like the lights, I actually thought maybe I had a bad ball of glue and I swapped out to a new ball, but the CA glue just would not stick to these rubber hoses for some reason. I mean, it did stick, but maybe I needed a bottle of activator or something. It definitely took a sweet time coming unstuck. So anyways, I decided to film this one real quick there. It's a different kind of part. It was a rubber hose. I thought it'd be a little interesting. When I first saw them, when I opened the box, I thought they were thin plastic. I won't make you watch me pull the bolts off. So anyways, we'll put a little CA glue. What I'm doing here though is I'm just running the glue up to the tip of the nozzle, and then I'm just dipping each tip of these hoses into the puddle of glue inside the nozzle. Now I don't know if this is a sand valve or a sand pump, but anyways, there's 4 little holes on the underside. They just connect in there. I had to do it off screen there because I forgot where the camera is again. Yeah, so we'll get these hoses attached. My big hands are in the way again. Get a fancy new camera mount and I still get my hands in the way. Just make sure they're all dangling in the right places. And we'll do the same on the front. There we go. And we'll do the same on the other side as well. And then we could move on to the brake assembly here. I thought I'd show you how these ones went together just before I hit them to the paint booth there. Just a touch of glue to hold these little tiny brackets in place, and then the rest they just clip on, and they click on with their pins, and they swing loosely. No glue required. The same on the other side here, just a touch. I'm gonna have to get a new bottle of glue there and do like what Ron did there. Take the applicator out of the extra thin and put it in with the regular glue, and vice versa. Because this applicator, I agree, it's It's just too big. Okay, so these are just held in place. They kind of pop into place like an old step 1 snap kit. You just click into place, free moving. Alright. I got a bunch more to make and paint. We'll get those done off screen. Now these are the brake shoe assemblies. I've already trimmed them up a little bit. Alright, we're upside down now. Now I'm not quite sure what the best way was. I'm going to put a hose back in place here. Stay. Okay. Now I wasn't quite sure the best way to install these wheels. So I thought, well, the instructions say glue the wheels onto the locomotive, then put the brake shoes on, and then it wants you to put that connecting rod on. And I could see why they say to do that. But my feeble brain at the moment told me, let's try it a different way. So here we're just going to place these wheels into their slots here. And I'm going to use the proper connecting rod, not that one, this one. You got to think when everything's upside down. And I figure we'll do this here. We'll find the proper position for each wheel so that these holes line up. And then I thought, well, I'll glue the connector rod to the wheels, and when that solidifies, then we'll pull the whole wheel assembly off, and then we'll glue the entire wheel assembly back onto the locomotive, and then we'll try and fish those brake pads into place somehow. Look at that. And of course now I'm going to have a little bit of fun here because nothing's glued down yet, so. It's kind of neat just watching them turn around. Of course here at this point they all start jamming up on me, and try again. But no, it doesn't want to have any of that game at all, so. I'll just put the wheels back to the position I kind of wanted on this side. We'll do a quick refit. I'll just glue up those pins. And put that in place there. Ta-da! Okay, now that it's all dried up, solidified, here we'll pull this, gently pull this assembly off. Put a little bit of glue on the axles and then we'll reinstall it again. And hopefully the spacing all stays the same. Again, that tiny little applicator would be just perfect for getting inside those axle holes. The next trip to the city, we'll pick up some extra bottles. There we are. Okay, we'll do the same to the other side, so we're going to do it a little differently this time. I'm actually going to glue each wheel in position. And my theory is at that point I'm going to race to put the connecting rod on while everything's still kind of gooey. That's my theory. Now, if you do it this way and you want to follow the instructions, I would recommend putting the wheels on, gluing them on, putting your connecting rod on without glue to get your proper positioning. Then I would pull that connecting rod off and then I would install your brakes. Hindsight's 20/20. That would make it a lot easier to do in the end. But if you are like me and you like to live dangerously and glue everything together, you can still fit the brake shoes into places. We better get that connecting rod on in there before that glue dries. This isn't Tester's orange glue there where you got a couple hours. Alright, there we are. Okay, so let's take a look at these brake shoes. Now I painted these flat red, and then I used, what was that one again? The XF56, the metallic gray. I found a couple uses for that. So that's what I used to paint the brake pad material, or brake shoe material. As I said, you can still get them on. It's just a tight squeeze to get them in. I mean, they had to put them on in real life. I mean, I doubt they disassembled the entire locomotive just to put a new set of brakes on. So they had to fit in real life too. Mind you, I doubt they flipped the locomotive upside down to do it. As you can see, as I go further down the line and get a little more practice with them, they get a little easier and easier too, just like anything. Final one on the driver's side. This one's giving me guff. Most of the problem is I just can't see deep enough down to find the little pinhole there that this fits into. I just can't see it. I was talking to my wife there about how much I've enjoyed this model and how almost every single step has something of extreme detail that I can just play with and kind of give it a little bit of a wow factor. And one of those things was early on in the model was the leaf springs. And I remember how I sat there and painted all the bolts separately on them, and then I took the panel line and I made sure that every leaf spring was properly defined. Now the kit's gone together, and the only way you'll ever see those leaf springs is if you flip it upside down. But that's what made this kit so enjoyable, was every step had something you could over detail on it, eh? Every it wasn't all just slap the parts together. Every time I turned a corner, there was something I could really have some fun with. Probably one of my most favorite parts that I actually put together on this kit and had fun detailing was those steam cylinders. It just happened to be one of the first things that I really started to get into detailing that had the actual colors of the locomotive. And that was probably one of the most fun things I did. Lots of more fun things that were just equally enjoyable afterwards, but that was fun because, like I said, it was the first thing of color for the actual locomotive that I put together that had that real wow factor that just anybody would see and go wow when they saw it, eh? At this point here, we'll add all these brake linkages here. And I did these all up off screen because I figured, well, I showed you how to put one together, and by now everybody's seen me paint now too. So I thought, well, it was just something a little different. I'll show you how one went together, and then I'll just grab the other four real quick. If you're all desperate to see footage, I think I have footage. I can make up a special video for you. I'm pretty sure I won't get a single request for that. Now the last set of linkage here was a little different. It had a pair of drag link bars on it, and when I went to install it, I'm still having trouble. I had a lot of trouble with these back shoes here. I don't know why. I just could not peer down in there. Not enough light getting in there, I guess. Try to fit them into place and maintain that proper gap on your wheels too. So these drag link bars here, I'm gonna fade in and out because my hand was in the way the whole time, and who wants to just stare at the back of my hand all the time? Anyways, they just friction fitted into two little slots. They're held in with pins, no glue, and so I just popped them into place. I'll just connect it to the brake shoes here. There we go. I'll try not to take photos in this direction again. But here's a good close-up view of the linkage with the brake shoes. Well, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe. And next time we see you, we'll be finishing off the driving gear. All right, Happy New Year. Take care.